getting also better at this. So I'm gonna give it a few seconds and then just get into it. Hello, everyone. I'm back. I am back from my 1 week rejuvenation vacation, so to speak. And I got to tell you guys, I feel great. I do. I needed to get a little R&R in there. Hi, Kiana. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Yes, guys, I needed to take a little, which is something that we all should be doing too, every so often. Take a little mental reset, a little break. You guys know me. I'm very diligent. I like to be, in my work. I like to share whatever I can share with you guys and do as much work as possible on the channels and help out in any way, shape, or form. But every so often, we do need to take a break because even the strongest survivors definitely need to take a mental reset. And that was definitely something that I had to do. And I got to tell you, I missed you guys. Okay, Amanda had to, shout out to Amanda for holding it down for me, for doing the daily posts, for, still giving you guys those little pushes of encouragement, and for, for being there for you guys. I just really, and she's been there for me too. She's been an amazing help and just an amazing friend. And I am so appreciative to have her on my team. I'm so appreciative to have her here. And I thank you so much, Amanda, for helping everyone. Hi, Cicely. Thank you. Yes, I am feeling better. I had a just, if you guys have probably been there, you have like an energetic type of drainage and you just need to like reboot yourself. That was exactly what I had to do. I just had to reboot myself and just bring myself back to, where I needed to be. When you're not taking breaks, when you're not, just trying to reset mentally, it's important to do that. I mean, it's part of mental health. It's important to do that. It can affect a lot. It can affect your work. It can affect your everyday life. Hi, Marcelo. Hi, sweetheart. It can affect your everyday life. It can affect everything. So it's, I didn't want it to affect the integrity of my videos, of our live chats, of when people email me and they send me messages, just, I want to be here 100% present with you guys. And I'm so glad that a lot of you reached out. A lot of you have, hi, no Narc Zone. How are you, sweetheart? Long time I haven't spoken to you. I hope all is well with you. But it's a very, very important part of your everyday life. Mental resets, guys. Don't be afraid to take them. Don't be, afraid to just take a few moments for yourself, even if it means disconnecting from the world, disconnecting from people, even in your own solitude. It's always important to do that so you can, reboot yourself and then get back on better than ever, stronger than ever. Hi, Janelle. Hi, Raphael. Sorry, guys. Let me just double check here. Okay, so my girl Amanda's here. Hi, Stella. Hi, my sweetheart. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I'm so glad that you guys are welcoming me back, even though it's only been a week, but it felt like forever for me. And I'm so glad that, we can just, take a minute for ourselves. And like I said, I'm truly appreciative for Amanda and for everything that she's done, and just, helping me through this. And now we get back to business. We get back to what it is that we've come here for. And we do it better than ever, guys. We do it better than ever. So, and I'm wearing white today because white, represents peace and calmness and that good aura and purity. So, and plus it's like freaking hot outside. So dark colors, can't wear them for the summertime, especially when it's extremely hot. Can't do that. Yes, Marcelo, I agree. It definitely is, especially everybody who's here, everybody who joins, the newcomers, the new people who join and share and, just interact with everyone. It's always good to be in a good environment, in a good state of mind, you know, especially with everyone who's endured with what you guys have endured. So it's always important, you know, your peace, your mental health, your well-being, that is always priority. It always comes first. And you know, I definitely needed to take just a little hiatus, nothing crazy. Because you guys know me, I would never ever leave and not say anything about it. But my last, when I put up the video to let you guys know that I was taking a break, I like barely could breathe. I couldn't even breathe while I was doing the video. It's just so much, it took so much strength just for me to do that. And you know, I come to learn that even though you guys, and I want you to understand this, and then we'll get into the live session. I want a lot of you to understand that even though all of you have gone through what you've gone through, keep in mind and bear this in mind. People who may not be around you physically, may not be there, you know, in your presence, can still drain your energy. They can really do that, believe that or not. And if you have people who put a lot of focus, like negative focus on you, if you have people who see that you're doing better in life, that you're doing well, and that was not their intention, they could throw a lot of bad juju at you. Okay. A lot of bad juju, a lot of bad energy. And you have to protect that. You have to seriously protect that, because though these people who've been in your lives are not physically in your life, they can still, you know, try to manifest that negative stuff in your life, especially when you're trying to like just get on with it and you're trying to just be happy and be at peace. So, you know, that saying, misery loves company. And it's always good to, and I've, you know, I just dealing with bad dreams, dealing with, you know, just all these like racing thoughts and just a lot of different things that really weren't coming from me. They weren't coming from me, guys. So I just didn't want any of that to affect me, and, you know, of course, affect the quality of the type of channel that I'm really trying to keep flowing for you guys. Stella, I got hoovered. It was bad. He pretended to be a girl, calling me a drag queen. I can't handle the truth. I have an ugly heart. I hide behind makeup. I reported his fake profile. You know, and that's to be expected, Stella. It's to be expected, because people who, I notice the one thing is that when people don't like really have the kind of, you know, the kind of spirit that you have, or they just really, they're bitter. They're bitter. They're, you know, they're disgusting people, you know, and unfortunately that is to be expected. You can expect the fake profiles. You can expect different people coming into your, you know, your social media, or trying to follow you and follow what it is you're doing, and, you know, trying to troll you and try to bait you. And, you know, you also got to think of it this way. You want to turn a negative into a positive? Think of it this way. They have to go through all this trouble because you carry that much power. You carry that much power in the dynamic. You carry that much power with you, that they have to go through all of this trouble to try to get a rise out of you, to try to get your attention, you know. And I like often say to myself, I'm so glad that I ignored so much stuff. I'm glad that I ignored so much, because if I had fed into everything, if I had fed into all the nonsense and the type of people that this particular person gets involved with, if I was to feed into all of that, I'd be no better than them. And I would actually be like arguing and fighting with people who have no relevance. They have no relevance. And because you're not making them relevant anymore, they're feeling butthurt about it. And remember, narcissists are very, very immature people. They can be very petty. They can be extremely petty. And the mere fact that they have to go through the trouble to make a fake profile, to try to make it seem like a real profile, because they do that too, it's just too much work. Do you mean to tell me you're going to put in all this work to do all of this, to try to taunt me and to try to bother me and to try to get a reaction out of me, but you couldn't put this much work into a relationship? You couldn't put this much work into yourself? You have to put this much work into creating these accounts and doing all of this stupidity? Like, they're ass backwards people. They really are. But you think of it as, well, I must really, really consume your mind by the mere fact that I'm ignoring you, that I'm not dealing with you, that I want nothing to do with you, and I'm showing you that I want nothing to do with you. I must really have some kind of an effect on you that you have to go through this trouble to do all of this. It really shows how pathetic these people can be and how low they would really stoop to try to. But regardless of it, Stella, you know it's not true. You're a beautiful woman, and at the end of the day, you have a very sweet heart. So they're just pretty much, that's where that jealousy and that envy comes in. They're very jealous and very envious of people who are just the total opposite of them, you know. And we've all have our dysfunctions, guys. We all have our own issues that we've ever had to deal with. But at the end of the day, narcissists are the kind of people who don't deal with themselves. They don't deal with their issues. They don't deal with their traumas or their dysfunctions. So they figure, well, I'm not dealing with it, but I'm just going to take it out on other people because, you know, it's kind of like, it's my party and I'll cry if I want to. It's bullshit. It's like, grow up, get a life. Really, it's sad. Marcelo, even after years that we left them behind, they send their negativity. Yeah, it is, and it's because, you know something, you're no longer feeding into that. You're no longer trying to, you know, see what's good with them. You're no longer trying to be a part of their life. You decided, okay, you know what? I was talking to Amanda about this the other day. You decided to walk away, which was the biggest step, one of the biggest steps, walking away. Because walking away from someone, it's doable. Anyone can do it, but letting go and detaching, that is the hard part. That's the part that a lot of people get stuck on. They get stuck on the whole being attached. But understand something, guys. Being attached to them is not necessarily you being attached to them. It's your trauma that's attached to them, okay? Because how you attached with them was based on the trauma that you had, all right? And I've said this, I think, in one of the other lives, where, you know, you have people that have been rejected. And we're not talking just narcissists, but we're talking, you know, codependents, you know, people with other types of issues who have been consistently rejected by their parents. So if you have, let's say, a woman who's been rejected by her father, just constantly rejected emotionally, mentally, you know, physically rejected by her father, she's inherently going to attract men that there are similarities with her father, you know, and because she's in a sense looking for a father figure, but not like in that sense of, oh, I'm looking for my daddy. No, she's looking for someone that'll fulfill her the way her father didn't fulfill her. But all she's going to end up doing is continuously attracting the kind of men that are in essence similar to her father. And when these men, whether they be narcissists or just completely avoidant men, when these men reject her, when they reject her in a relationship, or in this case, a narcissistic discard, she's being triggered. She's being triggered because her father rejected her. So she's trying to hold on. She's trying to hold on to the person for fear of being abandoned. Again, that is not her true innermost feelings. That's her trauma. So when you think about it, if you sit there wondering, why can't I get over this person? Why can't I stop thinking about this person? Why can't I let go of this person? Even after everything they've done to me, why can't I let them go? It's because your trauma is holding on to them, which is why a lot of people who, you know, are victims and of course survivors of narc abuse are always advised to go for professional help, because you have to go through the process of detaching from these people. And that means dealing with your trauma. When you deal with your trauma and you manage to release and work through, we'll go through work through with your trauma, you are slowly weaning off of that person. It's the same thing for someone who's had drug abuse problems. When they're going through rehab, they're weaning off, right? They're weaning off of the drugs. They're going through withdrawals because they still crave it, but they're weaning off, as opposed to someone who's just doing it cold turkey, that they're just like, I don't need any help. I don't need professional help. I can do this myself. And what happens? They end up relapsing. Now, people who go through professional help may end up relapsing, but not nearly as much as people who don't get the help that they need. One of the things, that's the important thing we have to realize. When you're holding on to the abuser, when you're holding on to the thoughts and the memories, and you're holding on to the, you know, the anxiety and the pain, that is your trauma holding on to that, because your trauma, that was, you know, a familiar feeling for your trauma. We're not even talking about you guys. We're talking about your trauma. That was a familiar feeling for your trauma. And that's why it wouldn't let it go. That's the whole point of having what do we learn, guys? A trauma bond. You understand? You're bonded with this person based on your trauma. Okay. And it's the same, it's vice versa with men too. Okay. It's the same thing. I just used a girl as an example, but it's the trauma that is holding on to the abuser, that's holding on to the narcissist, that's holding on to the memories, that's holding on to the confusion. Because it's, you know, you're in that confusing, you could be in that confusing state. I don't know what stages everybody's in, but for those who are in the confusion, in the fog, and sitting there and saying, but I just can't seem to quite wrap my head around this. Why can't I wrap my head around what happened when this person clearly showed a side to me that seems so vulnerable and seems so real and seems so loving and caring, and they did all of these things? That's because your trauma is trying to convince you that the good times were real. The good times meant something to them, not to you, but to them. Those moments, those laughter and the hugs and the kisses and the I love yous and all that stuff. Yeah, you know, they it just felt so real. You got to be careful with that, because your trauma is trying to trick you. Your trauma is trying to convince you. Well, remember when they, you know, they did something special for your birthday, or they came to your house one day with a whole bouquet of roses, or, you know, they bought you these basketball tickets to a game, you know, for just for being who you are. When you start to think like that, that's because your trauma is trying to tell you, consider, think about it. Trauma would not exist if you got help, right? Trauma is not your friend. Trauma is not your friend. It's not my friend. It's not your friend. And all it's going to do is it's going to continue to try to convince you that, well, you know, they're really not a bad person. I mean, think about it. You know, yeah, you guys had your bad times. Yeah, you know, you had your moments and you argued a lot and there was a lot of, you know, drama and this and that. But remember those good times. Remember those good moments. That's what your trauma is trying to. That's why it's important that we work on releasing trauma. Okay? Because trauma is like a narcissist. If you think about it, trauma is like a narcissist. It will do anything to keep you stuck, to keep your attention, to keep your focus, to keep you, you know, trying to feed it. You know, you really think about it, guys, you're being sucked in both ways. You got trauma on this side, and then you got the narcissist on this side, and they're kind of like, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when someone says you need to deal with your trauma. It's extremely important. And I know a lot of people don't want to deal with it because it's like opening doors to things that we always just wanted to forget. It's opening up doors to certain parts of your past that you have suppressed, you know. And I another thing I was going over with Amanda about the subconscious mind. We push things back there. We push them back there because we don't want to think about it, because we want to forget it. When you push it enough to the point, if you have a moment, guys, when you can go on, you can even try Google. Okay, Sigmund Freud had this, it's called the iceberg theory. And the iceberg is pretty much what represents our mind. You know, the tip of the iceberg and the bottom of the iceberg. And just to go really fast over it, the tip of the iceberg is your conscious mind. These are the things that you think about on your everyday basis. The part of your brain that you use every single day. Your subconscious, which is the bottom that's submerged in the ocean, that's the part of your brain that locks in, that holds in a lot. Deep, dark secrets, deep-rooted trauma, repressed desires. It's just so many different things. When you get help, you go to therapy, you go to psychotherapy, you go to a psychiatrist. Just bear that in mind. When you decide to take that step, and that's up to you, when you decide to do that, it's going to unlock a lot of doors, because all of those doors need to be unlocked and all of that needs to be released, because all of that subconscious trauma, it's what's keeping you stuck there. And it's also what is what's keeping you. It's not what's attracting you to a narcissist, because anyone can attract a narcissist. Okay, anyone can attract a narcissist, whether you're a codependent or not, whether you're a secure person or not. But your trauma, it's what keeps you continuing with the narcissist, stuck with the narcissist, staying with the narcissist, going back to the narcissist, constantly revisiting things with the narcissist. That's what your trauma is doing. Let me just, I'm sorry guys, I want to go back and make sure I didn't miss anybody. I've noticed that right before our breakthroughs, they seem to sense it and restart sending bad juju. Yeah, Marcelo, it's they don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you, they wanted to see you fall. They wanted to see you fail. Okay? They wanted to, truthfully, they wanted to believe that you would be nothing without them, that you are nothing without them. So if you've ever gone through a discard and you were consistently, hi Andrea, hi sweetheart. If you've ever gone through a discard and you were, if you were at a point where you were, because you have some people, every discard is different. You have some people who were begging and pleading and reasoning and trying to wager with the narcissist. Listen, I can change, I can do this, I can do that. What do I need to do to be a better person? What do I need to do to get you to stay with me? What do you, if you were in that point of doing that, they're looking at you like, well, you're willing to do anything for me. You're willing to do anything to keep me in your life. You're failing to understand, and you didn't understand it at that time either, that it was your trauma doing all of that. Your trauma was begging and pleading because of the fear of abandonment, the fear of the unknown. That's pretty much all it was. But they never expect you. They never expected you to not only move on, but do better. They expected you to be in that deep, dark hole. And that's because they've lived in a deep, dark hole their entire lives. So they figured if they dragged you in there, you were never going to find your way out. You're stuck in that cycle. You're stuck being in that same, dimension as them. But at the end of the day, you managed to get through it. You managed to get through it. You managed to see things for what they were. You managed to see them for who they are. And you managed to say, nah, I'm not taking this. I'm not doing this. This is what I have to go through. And but they don't expect you to. And the minute that you are doing better and the minute you're doing good, that jealousy and that rage and all that stuff kicks in. It kicks in because they're known to, listen, whether you know it or not, okay? And I don't care. Honestly, I don't care what other people say. Oh, but they're in a new relationship. They're with somebody else. They're doing their own thing. They're not thinking twice about you. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Because a narcissist can never get enough supply. And a narcissist, at the end of the day, they know that what they left you for was superficial bullshit. Okay? If you were a true, genuine person and you were embedded in your relationship and you were providing things that not many people would provide for them, they know for a fact that's not going to last very long because they already know what they plan on doing with that new supply before anything even happens, before they even discard that new supply. Or, if the new supply discards them, it can always go both ways. But they always like to keep their eyes peeled for old supply because if at worst case scenario, which is why a lot of the time they try to get you to remain friends with them. They try to say, well, can we be friends? Can we still be in each other's lives? They'll not only make you feel like you're the reason why the whole thing ended, you're the reason why the relationship wasn't working out and you weren't making them happy. Oh, listen, I'm not happy. You're not making me happy, so I decided to go somewhere else. That's the biggest cop out I've ever heard. Biggest cop out. If you're not happy, you're not happy because of you, not because of me. Okay? It was never my responsibility to make you happy, but I made it my priority. You see, you notice the difference between the two? So they'll continuously watch you. They will watch you, even if you block them. If you block them on your social media, they'll watch you. And if they can't watch you, they'll get their friends to watch you. They'll get other people to watch you. Okay? All while they're lying behind your back, and all while they're, trying to gather up whatever other supply there is. But they always like to keep, especially supply that was really good to them. Okay? And I don't like referring to you guys as supply, but the things that you did, the gestures, everything, even though it was genuine from you, it was supply for them. Okay? But they'll always try to refer back to you. They will. The ones who may not come back are the ones who see that not only do you know who they are and what they're about, but they know that the minute they try to step foot into, your energy field, you can rip their ego to shreds, and they're not going to chance that. So understand, guys. Even so, some of them more than likely may try to come back, but that's if they have a crack to get in. That's if you leave a door slightly cracked open for them to come back in, or if you're giving them the impression that it's okay for them to come back in. But the ones who say, nah, this person can probably not only shred my ego apart, but if it's a dude, make me feel this big. And if it's a female, make me feel like the biggest, cheapest whore in town. Like, that's because it's unfortunate. I hate to say it that way, guys, but unfortunately, that's how these people are. That's how these people are. A narcissist will not try to hoover you back in, will not attempt to hoover you back in if they know for a fact that you are stronger than ever and you have the ability to really tear down, as hollow as it is, their ego. They won't chance that. They won't chance the rejection. Okay? And for people who know their role and know that's why the narcissist isn't coming back, take that as your blessing. Take that as your blessing. Let them know that, you know what? You didn't break me. You did not only did you not break me, but I managed to get on with my life. I managed to do what I have to do. And I did not have to tarnish you. I didn't have to disrespect you. I didn't have to degrade you in the process. I did everything on my own. And with the help of, if you believe in God, with the help of God or whatever higher power you believe in, I did it all on my own. I didn't have to tear you down to build myself up. And it's really sad that you have to tear people down to try to build yourself up. Let them know something like that. Shoot. They'll get pissed off. They'll get extremely pissed off. And I normally don't advise people to antagonize or try to provoke a narcissist. But at the end of the day, it shows in your actions and it shows in how you're living your life. That's the best way to do it. The best way to do it. You're not only disarming them, but you're dethroning them. And you are showing them that you can be a much better person and you don't even have to tear anyone down to do it. You don't. You really don't. Cicely, I finally blocked her after the Hoover, but I don't know why I still felt bad after months. But hopefully that'll end. Yeah, it'll end. It'll end. You only, you only feel the way you do. One thing I've learned is that victims of narcissistic abuse, when they reach a certain point in their life and they start to talk about things and they start to open up about their experience, what happened, and expose these people, sometimes victims feel guilt because a part of them feels like they are betraying the person, like they are, I'm betraying this person. But you got to think of it this way: they've been betraying you the whole entire dynamic. They have been betraying you with manipulation. You are not betraying them. You'd be betraying yourself. Okay, you have sacrificed yourself enough for these types of people. You sacrifice a lot of yourself. So to say, I feel bad, you're going to probably feel that in the beginning. Guilt, you may feel that, you know, it's some of the processes of grief. You may feel that, but after a while, you won't feel it anymore because you'll get to the point that as time goes on and you are releasing that energy, you're releasing that trauma bond, you're releasing that person, you start to gain more clarity, more and more clarity. And when you gain that clarity, you're truthfully, my thought when I went through my whole stage was, I don't give a fuck. That was my thought. My thing was, I don't care. I don't care. And at that, you get to that point when you stop caring, when you really stop caring, and it's not just about what people think, but when you just really stop caring about the person, about the situation, about everything in general, you're just like, I'm going to talk about it. I'm free and open enough to talk about it and to admit that this happened to me. This is what went down. And I'm not afraid to speak on it anymore. I'm not afraid to, especially you guys, especially you men. Okay? Men, speak up. Speak up. Okay? Part of my video, I'm giving because I'm getting statistics. And a lot of statistics are pointing that narcissism is more common in men. Narcissism is more common in men than it is in women. And I don't like statistics because statistics is based on what? Studies, right? And it's based on studies, based on participants of those studies. And a lot of the time, and this is where the whole societal depiction is, that women are more prone, or women are more, like, for example, I'm just saying example because I'm not throwing like real direct numbers. 85% of women are, in domestic violence relationships compared to 45% men. How do we know that statistic is accurate? Okay, I've learned, and let me tell you something. I have siblings. I have brothers. Okay, I have brothers. I got my father. I have a lot of men that, are in my life. I know for a fact that not many men, okay, and I get it. Trust me, I completely understand. It's not a macho thing. It's, it's a masculine thing. It's a pride thing. But I know for a fact that not many men will come forward in talking about abusive relationships where they are the victim and the girl is the abuser. Okay? You have a lot of men who fear, I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of men who fear coming forward and talking about the abuse for fear of being judged, for fear of being clowned, for fear of people saying, oh, so you let a girl whoop your ass, so you let a girl do this, you let a girl play you, you let a girl do that, and it makes them feel less of a man. So not only do they have to deal with females who have been in dynamics with them that have, excuse my terminology, have shriveled their balls to the point where they're almost impossible to see. Then they got to deal with society, okay, which is clearly, other men or even possibly women that are going to sit there and judge them and say, damn, you were abused by a chick. Not many men come forward on the abuse. And this is why I really don't want to veer towards statistics in that sense. As a collective, as a whole, I can believe in the numbers when it boils down to abuse in general. But when it boils down to statistically, it's more possible for a man to be a narcissist than it is for a woman to be a narcissist. Are we serious right now? Are we seriously going to say that? We can't say that. Okay? We can't say that it's more possible for a man than it is a woman. We can't say, I've done studies on autism because my son is autistic. And they have said that, doctors and studies have stated that autism is more common. It's found to be more common in boys than it is in girls. Now, autism is something that is passed through genetics. Okay, it's passed through genetics. It may skip a generation, but it's passed through genetics. So I can believe that in a sense of genetically wise, if it's in our DNA and it's a possibility and it's more possible in boys than it is in girls, then yes, okay, we got something we can work with. But this is a personality disorder we're talking about. This is a disorder that is created over time. This is a distortion of a way of thinking that is created over time. So how can someone tell me, Erica, men are more capable of being narcissists than women? Why is that? Because women know how to hide it better? Because women know how to run with the narratives of what society portrays a woman to be? I'm not knocking us ladies. I'm really not knocking us, because a lot of us women in this room, on the channel, in general, you have a lot of real women, genuine women, good women who are not included in this. But the women who are like this, who do exist, make women such as ourselves look bad. Okay, so I'm going to get more into it when I complete the female narcissist, the female narcissist sociopath video. But hi Butch, hi sweetheart. Yes, the fear of being emasculated. So they've been emasculated throughout most of their relationship, with being, their mother emasculated them, okay, which started at an early age. So they end up dealing with women who are, in essence, what did I say? In essence of a resemblance of their mother, okay? And now they're dealing with the women in their relationships, in their romantic relationships, emasculating them, making them feel so small, making them feel like less of a man. Not many men are going to come forward on the abuse. Not many men are going to be open and say, I want to testify that this person did this to me, for fear of being judged, for fear of being emasculated even more than what they've gone through. And you guys know me. When I advocate, I don't just advocate for men. I don't just advocate for women. I advocate for the victims, whether they be men or women. Okay. So I'm going to get more into that when I complete the video. Let me just see here. Okay. Do all narcissists discard? The narc I was with discarded me some 45 times in 9 years. Stella, yes. Yes, they do. And oftentimes, the reason this happened so many times was because what we continue, let me rephrase that. What we allow will continue. Okay. And each and every time, I mean, if you've been in this person's life for a long time, I'm sure you wanted to hope, you were hoping that the person maybe changed. You were hoping that they maybe have seen the light, have, realized the errors of their ways. A lot of people fall for this. And you come to find out that heart filled with chocolate candies was nothing but shit dipped in chocolate. Because each and every time they'll come with something bigger, they'll come with something new, they'll come with something better, but each and every time you allow them back in, it's for me, once is enough. But if you want to give the benefit of the doubt and you go twice and they do it again and then they come back a third time, okay, I swear, I promise it'll never happen again. I promise it's going to be different. It's going to be real different. I've changed. I've seen the errors of my ways. I've seen the light. I have even confessed, God, Jesus is my Lord and Savior. The devil will always come in the form of light. And each and every time the devil tries to come back into your life, he's going to come back as a different energy, a different entity, a different look, a different style, a different form. He's always going to do that. Narcissists are tricksters. They are. And as long as they know that they can continue tugging at your heartstrings, each narcissist is different. So if they try to hoover you back in, it could be like almost right after the discard, where you have not had chance to heal, you have not had chance to get out of the fog. That's usually what they will try to do. because all of the stuff that they went through to discard you for their new supply, to do whatever it is they wanted to do, when they start to see that, okay, this is already boring me, and let's just say it was a couple of weeks or even a month, and they're trying to come back, that's not enough time for you to heal. That's not enough time for you to detach. That's not enough time for you to get anything done. Okay? You're still crying. You're still hurting. You're still mourning. You're still going through all of the grief and the pain. So I don't know how far along that person waited each time, but that is a lot. That is a lot. And I do hope in this case, you said enough was enough, and you completely like deaded it and cut it. And even though it may take some time to detach from the situation, and it may take time to release yourself from that energy and from the thoughts of everything, yeah, I hope that this is the final time for you, because some people may come, may do it, once or twice, maybe three times at the max. But unfortunately, you do have people, which there's nothing wrong with that, who strongly want to believe and want to hope that these people who do this, consistently, constantly showing, different sides of themselves, to the point of a discard happening 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. It's there comes a time where you have to say to yourself, yeah, this is just, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Okay? If you allow it to continue, it's going to continue. If they see they can get away with stuff, if they see they can continue doing things, and you're just, letting them back in, you're letting them back in, you continue letting them back in, it's pretty much they don't take you serious, they don't respect you, they do not care. And it's kind of like that whole why buy the milk when I can get the cow for free type of scenario. That's exactly how they're looking at it. So it's, I'm just going to come back with a different mask each and every time. So don't be surprised if that person has about a good 49 masks in their closet, and they got a different one for each occasion. But I do hope that that would be, that's it, done. For, like I said, for me, once is enough. Once is enough. I'm like, nope, because I'm the kind of person, if you don't catch me while I care, if you don't stop to say to yourself, damn, I really did this person dirty. Damn, I really hurt this person, and this person cared about me, and all they wanted to do was make me happy, and I lost their trust. If you are really not sincere about it, and you try to catch me on a day where I'm already to the point where I don't care anymore. I don't care how you feel. I don't care what you feel. I don't care if you're sorry. I don't care if you have regret. I don't care anything. You're better off just saying it's a lost cause and walking away. Don't bother. Don't bother. Because when you break out of that fog and you see everything, you're like, oh, that's how you do? This is how, okay. All right, cool. No problem. No problem. Quite frankly, I'm gonna be honest, and it may sound kind of harsh. I'm already to that point that I don't. I mean, listen, I don't wish bad on anybody. I never wish bad on anybody. But I'm to the point. I went from being completely head over heels in love to, wanting nothing but the best for this person, to being completely devoted and loving with this person, just deep rooted in this, to, if this person was to come to my doorstep on fire, the most I will do is point them to the bus stop. Hospital's right over there. And it's sad that I feel that way, but I do. I really, really do. And it's really sad that I've come to that point. It takes a lot to get Erica to stop caring. It takes a lot to get Erica to turn her back, to turn her back on anyone. Because I've given people chances. I have given people opportunity. I have given people a part of me that lets them know my loyalty is to you, as long as I don't have to question yours. But when I am no longer When my back is no longer turned to you, it's just my back is to the wall with you. I'm a very stubborn person, and I will admit that, and it will take a lot to get me, if you can even do that, to get me to say, all right, I'll hear you out. Everyone is different though. Everyone is different, and I'm not saying that you should, you should follow that, but sometimes you have to, especially if you want to protect yourself with setting up extremely proper boundaries. Hi, Slim. How are you? Let me just make sure I say hi to everyone. Okay. All right, cool. So I'm sorry, I'm just talking and I'm just going back. So you guys are probably way ahead of me, but Cicely, facts. Thought you were going to come back. Yeah. They think you're gonna come back. They look at it as, okay, whatever. You're on your own little mission. I'll let you play around. I'll let you do what you want to do. And then boom, what happens? They contact you out of nowhere. They contact you out of nowhere. If you're anything like me, you change your number. You change your number, because the minute you change your number, I mean, listen, they might look at it as a game. They might say, "Oh, you know what? Now you're trying to challenge me. Now you're trying to make it a challenge." No, I'm really just trying to get over this shit. I'm really trying to get over it. If you want something to change, guys, you have to be the initiator. You have to be the one to change it. They're not going to do it. They are not going to sit there and say, "I effed up. What do I need to do? And do I need to get help? Do I need to do?" They're not going to say any of that. They're going to say, "You shouldn't have said what you said. You shouldn't have done what you've done. You shouldn't have, drove me crazy," and all kinds of stuff. They're going to deflect the blame onto you. They're going to do it to you. And the only time, and I'll be honest with you guys, the only time that I think, I don't know if it's happened, if it has, let me know. But the only time I think they would ever come back in the sense of begging for your forgiveness is because they're so beyond desperate. They are so beyond desperate that they will probably try to do that to get you to feel sympathy for them, to let them back in. I still say, you know what? I'm trying to get so right with God, and I'm trying so hard to really, improve my relationship. And I know Jesus said, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If your enemy is cold, let him in. But at the end of the day, they're only your enemy because they made themselves that way. Okay? Technically, in your perception, in your eyes, they're not your enemy, but they are your enemy because those people are all or nothing. They're black or white. They're like, well, you don't deal with me no more. You don't talk to me. You don't bother with me. So you must hate me. I don't hate you. Oh, you don't hate me? No, I don't hate you. Well, I'm hungry. Well, guess what? I'll put a plate of food outside for you. I ain't letting you in my house. No. You're not coming up in my house with whatever stuff you got going on, and my house is filled with peace. No. I tell God, bear with me. I'm still trying, It's better that I leave you a saucer of milk and some cookies outside on the sidewalk than just not give you anything and still not let you in my home. Not gonna happen. Marcelo, narcissists are in every gender, religion, social class, ethnicity. These statistics show only what shows up at the doctor's office. Yes, the majority are never diagnosed. Exactly. It's based on studies. It's based on whomever comes into therapists. They'll compare, they'll compare different victim accounts, because clearly a narcissist is not going to sit there and say, I'm a narcissist, or I have mental issues, I have a disorder, and I need help for it. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They're so caught up in their own fantasy world. They're not going to sit there and say, I have a problem. That's why they've been blaming you for everything. That's why they've been pushing everything onto you. You're the one who has the problem. You're the one who wants to control everything. You're the one. You. So they could do no wrong. They did no wrong in the entire relationship, in the entire dynamic. And yet you're sitting there like, wait a minute. So you're just gonna push all the blame onto me? And the people in their lives, family most, friends, it depends, because they can really manipulate their friends to believe anything they want them to believe, especially if these friends have been in their lives for like, for years. They can manipulate their friends to believe that every single dynamic they had gotten into was the other person's problem, because clearly they're not telling the full story. Clearly they're not telling exactly what happened. They're not telling the events that happened. They're telling based on themselves, their own, their own biased thoughts, and they're telling their friends or family members or whomever based on, I need to look like the victim. That person needs to look like the bad one. So I'm just going to switch some things up. Everything they're telling their friends and their family and everybody else around them, they're pretty much putting everything on you. They're putting, I don't know. She wants to control everything that I do. She doesn't want me to have any freedom. She doesn't want me to have a life. She doesn't want me to do this. He doesn't want me to do that. He doesn't want me going places. He doesn't want me wearing this. He doesn't want me, and it's really the other way around. It's really the other way around. And it's crazy. What's crazy is in my last relationship, I not once, ever, never looked through his phone. I never looked through his phone. If I have a reason to look through your phone, we got a problem, because something's telling me and I'm not getting a very good vibe. But I am pretty sure. In fact, I am sure that he has looked through my phone. He looked through my phone, but he didn't find anything. They'll look through your things. They'll look through your things. If they're in your house by themselves, they'll look through your things. They'll look through your drawers. They'll look through your phone. They'll look, they'll try to find things. And it's their own screwed up mind. They'll try to find things on you. They'll just go around looking through you. They'll even look through your garbage, bro. They will look through your garbage to see if they can find something. And the reality is because they're so paranoid. Narcissistic people are extremely paranoid people. A lot of the time it's their own guilt, but they're extremely paranoid, and they constantly are on edge, thinking that you are doing something, thinking that you're going to leave them, because they know something is wrong. They know they got problems. They know they have issues. They just don't want to admit to it. And the mere fact that you stayed with them so long, you stayed in the dynamic so long with them, kind of has them, waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's why they're on edge, because they're kind of looking to see when, not if, when you're going to discard them, because they know that if they continue with their shit at some point, it will happen. So see, while they're in the relationship with you, they're not technically bored with you yet. They're not, they're getting the supply from you. They're getting what it is they want. They're getting the attention. They're getting the admiration and the adoration and everything. But they're on edge because at any given time, you can just flip it around and go to them and be like, something, the shit that you're doing is not right. And it's just really, it's too much. I can't deal with it. And it would be you discarding them. So they're always constantly on edge. They're always constantly paranoid. And it's crazy because it's like they're contradictions, and in the interim of being in your dynamic, we're talking romance, guys. In the interim of being in your dynamic, they're constantly looking for reasons. They're looking for different things. You must be doing something. You must be doing this because you sat and you put up with so much. You put up with the nasty attitudes. You put up with the Jekyll and Hyde bullshit. You put up with their, with their inconsistencies. You put up with their contradictions. You put up with so much. And they know what they're doing. And they're sitting there wondering when that other shoe is going to drop. When are you going to discard me? Not if you're going to discard me, but when are you going to do it? And then when the time comes that you never discarded them, that you rode that sucker till the wheels came off, when they got to the point that they could no longer take any more out of you, they could no longer push your buttons because you became complacent, you became adjusted, you basically just sat there and dealt with it. Because in that time, you're thinking you're in love with them. You think, I love this person. They have their problems, but I'm with them through thick and thin. You think you're loving them through their imperfections. The reality is you were slowly transitioning. You were slowly transitioning and you were slowly accepting those doses of abuse because it was abuse. All of that was abuse. Verbal abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse. It's all abuse. Just because it's not physical and they never put their hands on you does not mean that it is not abuse. When I was younger, I used to admire the women in my family. I thought they were strong. Knowing what I know now, I find them manipulative, gaslighters, opportunistic. And the sad part is it's family. And family, it's harder with family because family, they have that card. They have the family card. You ever notice how family members feel entitled to say and do what they want to do? We're family, we're blood, you know? I should be able to say what I want to say. I should be able to do what I want to do. And, you know, I'm not just your friend. I'm not just your friend from up the block. I'm your family member. Listen, I don't go by that whole blood thing. That's me. That's me. And I mean, you know, whether I have family members watching or not, I don't go by blood. I go by loyalty. I go by respect. Okay? Because I have plenty of friends who are not blood related to me who treat me with respect. They treat me with respect. They show me loyalty. They show me love. And I've had family members who have disrespected me, who have manipulated, who have, you know, so that whole family card, that shit don't work with me. That don't work with me. And it's to the point that a lot of you have family members that want to pull that card out. And just because the card has that strip on it, they want to keep swiping. Well, guess what? It came up decline. I have family members I don't deal with like that anymore. I don't deal with them like that anymore. I chose not to do it. I'm not afraid or ashamed. And at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. My peace is priority. My peace. Okay. And you got to say that for yourselves, guys. My peace is priority. And if someone tells you, oh, well, that's pretty selfish of you, then you already know who else you need to get rid of. Oh, my peace is my priority is selfish to you. All right, then I already know you need to go too. Hi, Heather. Hi, sweetheart. I hope you're doing well. Okay, let's see. Oh, Stella, that's awesome. That's awesome. Keep going. Keep going, girl. Keep going. Because I know that's hard. Like, you have so many years with that person and you're 8 months in. Keep on going. Keep pushing. And when you get to that point, you're gonna reach that point. You're gonna reach that point, and you're gonna say to yourself, so this is what Erica was talking about. When you reach the point, girl, you message me and let me know. You message me and let me know. Cicely, they don't respect you whether you do or don't. It's you damned. Excuse me. It's you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. But that's why it's a disorder. Yeah, they're contradictions. So it doesn't really matter. You were doing everything you possibly could, and it looked like they appreciated it. But the fact of the matter was that it was just nothing is good for them. Nothing is good for them, guys. They are, they're the kind of vehicles that when you pour the gas in, it's coming out from the bottom. Just pouring right through. It's just going right through them. Okay? Because it's just something that's within them. And unfortunately, we take it personal, which of course, it's normal. It's normal, guys. You're going to take it personal. First of all, take the disrespect. I take that personal. You disrespecting me over some kind of trauma that has nothing to do with me. I'm going to take that very personal. Okay. But like blaming me for stuff that happened to you and I had nothing to do with it. I'm not accepting that blame. You walked on so many eggshells. When you break out of the fog, guys, and you start to like really see things, you're like, wait a minute. So all this happened, and you literally will see you had nothing to do with anything. Listen, you had your role. We'll put that much. You did have your role. Okay, you maybe had your insecurities. You had things going on. You had your own dysfunctions. You take accountability for that. Take accountability for you and your actions alone. But do not sit there and let someone else come to you and tell you, I'm unhappy because you know, bitch, you're unhappy because you a miserable twat. And you need to figure that out yourself. I'm not going to do that for you. I'm trying to figure out my own happiness. And I'm over here putting you on a pedestal, making you a priority, doing all of these things for you. And you won't sit here and tell me I'm still not happy. Man, listen. I got to get these t-shirts out, guys. I got to get these t-shirts out. Seriously do. So in case they ever try to hoover you back in, I'll probably put a t-shirt with my picture on it. And they try to hoover you back in, just make sure you wear it. It's going to say, not today, Satan. Make sure you wear it. Those are not Christmas lights, Green. Those are my house decorated lights. I'm a lights person. I love lights all over the house. They're not Christmas lights. They're everyday lights that I wear on my, I put on my window. He says I still got my Christmas lights on. Marcelo, yes. Once you can identify narcissism in a person, the best is just to leave. Take care of yourself, your energy, and not look back. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. Absolutely. That's pretty much it. Once you acknowledge it, a lot of you have really done so much work with yourselves, and you have done so much research. You have all become little therapists, you know, with all the research that you do. And now you know in the future. Now you know. It was a lesson you had to learn, okay? It's a lesson we all had to learn. Some of us, unfortunately, had to learn it, you know, it's a few times. It happens. But you're here now. You're doing what you got to do. You're not stuck in that anymore. You're not dealing with these people anymore. You're walking with your head high and you're proud. And that's awesome. You learn these things. You learn everything you needed to learn. So now, when you're done with your healing, you're done with your self-work, your self-love, you're done with doing everything you have to do, when it comes time that you are ready to settle down, you're ready to be in a relationship, or even if it boils down to your family, you know that you have narcissists in your family, proper boundaries. You set those boundaries up. And people who respect you will respect your boundaries. People who do not respect themselves will not respect anyone's boundaries. So you'll know, your spidey senses are going to come up and say, okay, you know what? You don't like to respect boundaries. I'm seeing that you don't like to respect boundaries. You're not listening to me. Oh, I heard what you said. No, you heard me, but you're not listening to me. And that's where you know, cutting you off. Because you'll know when to cut someone off real fast. You guys will be walking around with an extra pair of scissors in your back pocket, ready to cut someone off who's looking to violate your boundaries. Okay? Proper boundaries is extremely important because that will keep you protected. It will keep you protected, and it will keep you away from people who do not even vibrate on your level. People who see that you are just a strong person with boundaries that is like, it's just concrete, they will not attempt. They won't do it. People who like to violate boundaries, which are narcissists love to violate boundaries, okay? Especially female narcs. They love to violate boundaries because it's like that, I can do what I want and you can't say nothing about it, because if you do, I will get my flying monkeys and I will humiliate you and I'll smear your name and I'll do this and I'll do that. And you know, you get that energy from them. You get that like really petty, like teenage petty energy from these types of people. And that's what they throw off. If you try to set boundaries with me and you don't let me say or do as I please or disrespect you and make fun of you and hurt you and do all of these things, then I'm going to try to humiliate you. I've seen it with my own two eyes, guys. I've seen it with my own two eyes. And, you know, especially with females like that, it's like, I sit there and I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious right now? You're mad because you were rejected? You're mad because this person saw through your bullcrap and you can't manipulate them anymore? Like, I can see a huge difference between so many different people. And that's why people come to me and they tell me, listen, I'm coming to you because I know you're going to keep it honest with me. And you guys know me. I don't sugarcoat anything. You know, I say it with the utmost respect, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be direct with you about it. And I've seen it. I've seen the boundary twisters, female narcissists. That's also going to be in the video. They're extreme boundary twisters. They will like, female narcissists are very shady, very extremely shady. So you fellas and ladies, okay, who deal with females, you have to be very careful. You have to be. Okay, they come off as the charmers. They come off as the, you know, but now that you know what you know, and now that you can be able to like sense, and you're going to be on guard. So you're going to be looking for any kind of fakeness. You know, little things will be able to sneak through. It's going to creep through and you'll be able to determine them. And when you start to see like through the cracks and crevices because of your knowledge, you're going to be like, nope, nope. There's 7 billion people on this planet. You a little too narky for my taste. I'm good. Next. Move on to the next one. You just dodged a bullet and you did not have to worry about having to deal with what you already went through and why you're here now configuring a lot of things out. Madison. Oh, hi, Madison. Hi, sweetheart. I didn't even see you. I'm sorry. I'm like, I get so caught up when I'm talking. Yeah. I mean, listen, you know, these are the kind of people that walk with the type of energy that you don't want it in your home. You don't want it in your life. You don't want it in your energy. And not only that, guys, when you guys start to work on yourselves and you get your life together and you start to just move past that, you start to vibrate at such a higher level. So while they're still stewing in all of that, they're stewing in everything that, you know, they decided to like really. And you know what the crazy part about it is, guys? Listen, people are not wrong for changing how they feel. Okay? People are not wrong for feeling the way they feel. People, I was talking to my sister earlier, and I told her, people are like the seasons. They change. People do change. Feelings change. A lot of these things change. But how they treat you in the process, that's what you have to consider. And how they try to deflect everything. So instead of just saying, listen, because, you know, I look at it this way. You being with someone, you want the best for them, right? You want them to be happy. That was the whole point of you trying to make them happy, trying to see to it that they have the best. And they undoubtedly decided that, you know something, what you have is not cutting it for me. Okay? You don't hate them. You still wish them the best. Okay, well, apparently your departure was because you didn't feel in, you know, whatever, I'm not even going to say in your heart, because these types of people have a hollow emptiness there. But how you felt that I wasn't the best. You felt that the best was the next. Or you felt so adamant about it that you decided to go outside of our relationship to find the best. All right. I wish you the best, because your departure showed me that, all right, I'm not the best for you. Well, guess what? You're not the best for me either. So, because what's meant for you is always going to be for you, right? What's designed for you is always going to be for you. It's always going to, you know, love doesn't abandon. Love does not, you know, doesn't purposely hurt people. It doesn't manipulate someone. It doesn't make someone feel like shit. It doesn't do any of that. It does not do any of that. And it's not entitled. Love is not, it's not entitled. It's not something that it's like, I can say and do as I want and you're going to eat it. You're going to take it. No, it's none of those things. Okay. What that person had for you was not love. Was not love. It was mere control. It was control, and it was desires that they're, you know, to fulfill their own selfish needs, their own selfish agenda. That's all it was. Narcissists, first of all, are commitment phobes. Okay? They are commitment phobes, guys. Kind of ironic, isn't it? Isn't it kind of ironic that they're commitment phobes and yet they put on this whole persona that they're in a relationship, that they're happy with you, that they're in love with you, but yet they fear commitment because they fear losing their freedom. they fear, just like we inherently fear the unknown. They fear that they're stuck with you. Meantime, there's probably something better out there. That's their mentality. And there has to be something better out there. I mean, this is good. You can be giving them the world on a silver platter, guys. Giving them the world on a silver platter. Yeah, this is cool. But that over there is looking kind of good. And I'm curious to see what that's about, what that is. I'm curious to go over there. I want that. It just looks so good. They go for what looks good. They go for what's going to make them look good. They go for, after pretty much breaking you apart, tearing you down, breaking you down to the point that you're in depression. You're in depression. You could be either gaining weight, losing weight. You're consistently stressed out. Your insecurities are through the roof because you have been so back and forth with all of the, emotional manipulation and the psychological manipulation. Your insecurities are so on edge that, and mind you, this was something that they've done. They set the scene for it. They set the scene for your insecurities. So they pretty much did everything they could to triangulate and make you feel so insecure and undermine your confidence to the point that you are questioning everything in the dynamic, and they flip it on you, saying that you're an insecure person. You don't trust me. You have trust issues. Meantime, they knew what they were doing the whole time. So they set the scene, they triangulate, they get you to be, because they want you to feel jealous. They want a rise out of you. They want a reaction out of you. They want something to hold on to be able to tell the world when it comes time to discard you that you are a jealous, insecure, controlling individual, and they could not be with you anymore because of those reasons. But they're not telling people they were the ones who did all the bullshit that put you in that position. But I'm here to say it. I'll let everybody know. Hell, I'll write it in the sky if I have to. Don't have a problem for it. Do not have a problem at all. Yeah, absolutely, Stella. Absolutely. Because, I love to see people progressing. I love to see when everybody hits me up, they message me, they let me know what's going on. They give me updates. They give me progress reports. They tell me what's going on. Some people do regress, but it's normal. It happens. Just know that, you always have a support system. You always have someone here. I'm not, I want you guys to really understand this and understand this well. This is all meant to really help people push through, because when I was down and out, I was at my lowest point. I really didn't have anybody to help me push through. I had to do it on my own. I prayed every day. I prayed every night. I prayed for God to get the pain out of me. I prayed for him to help me through it, to give me the strength. I prayed for a lot, but physically I had to do it alone. I had to. I was doing all my research. I was, just going heavy into understanding what I went through, into dealing with what I went through. And part of me, I woke up one day and I said, yo, this feeling is such a horrible feeling. And I can only imagine how many other people have gone through this, because when I saw how common it was, and I saw how many other people, and I started seeing different platforms dedicated to narcissistic abuse, narcissism, dedicated to victims and survivors, I said, I have to speak up on this. I have to say something. I have to try to help, because it's a horrible feeling. You wouldn't wish this on your enemy. You really wouldn't wish that. And I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I stuck with it. The beginning, it's rough in the beginning, because it's like, you're just starting off and your nerves, and you don't know, half the time you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. You're nervous. But everybody has made it so easy for me, and they have made it so comfortable, and with showing the support. And it's good to know that, I can be here for people. I can be here for people. I'll be an open ear for people. Whatever I can do, I will do it, because you just don't want anybody else to go through that. It's horrible, man. It is really horrible. And not only that, but how many people have seriously hurt themselves or done worse as a result of being victims of this abuse. It's creating awareness is important, guys. It's really important, and we need to really open up. Like, more and more people are talking about it. More people are talking about it. And you have people that say, which is true, a lot of people use the word narcissist and narcissism. They, a lot of them like to throw it around, but it's also because it's like a double-edged sword, because so many more people are talking about it, exposing it for what it is, saying what it is, and giving their side. I personally do not care if anyone from my past knows my side of the story or not. I don't care if they believe that other person over me. I don't care if they're like, oh, well, this person said X, Y, and Z, but you're saying this, and we're kind of having. You think I give a shit? Because after all the abuse, after everything I went through, I have not missed a paycheck yet. I really do not care. I don't care what anyone else thinks. Okay? Everyone who's here is all that matters to me. Everyone who is trying to get help and trying to get through this. You guys are all that matter to me. Everybody else, I don't care. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they think. Heather says, not today, Narco. That's actually a good one too. Yes, Cicely, I'm definitely gonna work on that. I'm gonna make a couple of t-shirts. I'll show them to you guys. I'll post them up, and you guys decide which ones you like, which you can give me an idea. Maybe I could even, put for like personalized t-shirts, so if you guys have a certain type of t-shirt you want made, you let me know, and I'll do it for you, and send it out to you. So that way, if you do, and you wear the shirts, you send them to me. You don't have to expose yourself. You could just take a picture wearing the shirt, and I'll post it up. I'll post it up so everybody else can see, because it's it's just letting people know that we're not afraid to talk about it anymore. We're not afraid to be who we are, and to admit that we were victims, we are survivors, and narcissists don't stand a chance. They really don't. Hi, Lori. Hi, sweetheart. They really don't, guys. Yes, Marcelo. They are very petty and very infantile. Very petty and very infantile. Hi, Sandra. How are you, sweetheart? Yeah, I had to take the little break. I'm glad I did. It was very rejuvenating. It was just, I just really had to get the rest. That was what was important to me. And I'm glad I was able to do it so I can be here with you guys. And, again, yes, admittedly, Amanda was holding it down, though. She did a really good job holding it down for me. And every time, she's like, you better be getting your rest. So trust. Amanda was definitely making sure that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, which was rejuvenating myself and rebooting myself. But yeah, guys, just keep all of that in mind. A lot of what they do is not about you. It never was about you. It's really all about their inner traumas. It's all about their issues, whatever resentments they're holding on to based on their past. That's all that is. At the end of the day, when it boiled down to the discard, I know that a lot of you, it hits you. It hits you where it hurts the most. I know that for a fact. And I know that it hit a lot of nerves. And it triggered a lot of different parts of yourself that you couldn't understand at the time. You couldn't understand what was going on, what you were feeling, why you were feeling these things. You couldn't understand any of them. And over time, you just begin to learn that it was your trauma. Your trauma was what was holding on. Because trust me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Not to say you didn't love them, you didn't care about them, and that's why you stayed. What made you, it was the idea. Like you clearly thought that, it was love, and it was more than just attachment. But the reality is that somewhere along those lines, in your dynamic, the love flew out the window and attachment was all there was. Now, you could sit there and say to yourself, well, let me try to figure out when that was, when it happened, where it happened, how it happened. You could do that. But at the end of the day, just know that everything that you're feeling, especially if you're just now going through a discard, everything that you're feeling is your trauma. It's your trauma. Because you have been conditioned throughout your dynamic with the person or with the people. You have been conditioned throughout the entire thing to believe that the back and forth behavior, the abuse, the rewards, the punishment, the lovey-doveyness, the punishment, the I'm sorry, it will never happen again, the punishment, and people tend to think of punishment as, well, what did they do? Did they beat you down? Did they, did they cheat? Did they do this? Did they do? It doesn't even have to be anything like that, guys. It doesn't have to be anything like that. People stay, oftentimes people in relationships with reward and punishment behavior is just pretty much where one day they're sweet, they're kind, they're attentive, they show a side of you that seems vulnerable, it seems loving, it seems caring, and the next side is, yes, Carmen, I got you guys, I got you. I'll put up the photos of the t-shirts, the different kinds, and if you have suggestions, let me know. If you want them personalized, I'll make them for you. I'll have them made up for you, and then I can definitely set that up for you guys too. But yeah, the reward and punishment is pretty much, the one day they're attentive, they're loving, they're caring, they're kind, they're sweet, and you're like, okay, I love this side of you. But then the next minute, it's like day and night. And you're like, what the hell is wrong with you? Where the hell did that come from? And the minute you decide, okay, wait a minute, we need to talk, or now you want to turn everything into an argument. Now everything's always a problem. Throughout all of that, that's conditioning. That's conditioning. They were conditioning you to be accepting of the abusive behaviors. They were conditioning you to forget what happened this morning because they're being loving and sweet and kind to you later in the evening. It could all happen in one day. So you could be sitting there saying to yourself, so 9 o'clock this morning, you woke up like you were the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's 10 o'clock this evening, and you are just like a totally different person. At that time, you're not really sitting there thinking about it. You're just thinking, oh, well, we had a little tiff and it's over and done with. And it's conditioning, guys. They love to condition people. They love to condition people and form fit them in their environment, and in their sadistic ways. That's all it really is. And that's why I tell you guys, you just continue focusing on you, continue doing what you have to do, continue, if you're going for therapy, continue going for it. If you are, practicing self-love, just the work on yourself, continue doing it, guys. Continue. Mental resets, guys, do that too. Even if it's like one day a week, just to reset your mind and reset your energy and reset everything. Like I said, I had not been feeling well, literally have not been feeling well. And I felt so drained to the point that I could barely breathe. That's how bad it was. I could barely breathe. And I'm like, yo, this, and I was telling a man, it just doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right with me. And I said, I just need to take a little break because, and I have an idea as to what it really truly is. I'm not going to like really go too much into detail with it, but I do have a strong enough feeling in somebody is dabbling with some stuff and they're trying to throw it at me. I really do strongly feel that. And I'm so super sensitive to energy, and I'm so super sensitive to, to just darkness, entities and things like that. And it's like, it's just, whatever it was wanted to take the breath out of me because I could barely breathe. I could barely do anything. And I could barely, wake up just to get up to go to work because I was so drained. And so I felt like a weight was on me. So I definitely had to just take, some time for myself and clear up my head and just release all that negative stuff. And, I personally, I'm fine though. I am fine. I'm okay now. Thank God. And I'm just, just keep that in mind too, guys, even though they act like they don't give a damn and they act like you're nothing and you are a mere whatever to them. Trust and believe they will monitor you. They will watch you. They'll watch the things you do. They'll try to get other people to watch you. They'll try to get, gather information on you. They'll try to do all types of things. And you have to protect yourself from that. You really have to protect yourself from it. So just say your prayers, protect your energy, protect your peace, do the mental resets every so often. Disconnect for a while, disconnect from social media, disconnect from people. If you can, like, stay in your own little quiet, make a quiet space for yourself in your home, even if it's for 10, 15, 20 minutes, and just meditate, pray, do what you need to do, but definitely do the mental reset and make that part of your your routine, maybe weekly routine or every other week. Do that because it'll really help. It really, really will help. It definitely has helped me. And you guys, I mean, I definitely love being here because of you guys. And it was kind of hard for me to stay away because I was still answering some people's comments. And Amanda was like, no, I'll respond if you want me to. And so, but it was definitely needed. Definitely needed. And I'm glad I did it because now we're going to start doing things bigger and better this time. All right. Really give them a reason to be pissed off. Hey, if they're going to throw some shit at me, I might as well go the whole yard. Right. So pray for me. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Yes, I am feeling better. I definitely am. And having supporters like you and having, really good friends such as Amanda and, my son, he's healthy, he's good. It's everything's peaceful. And that's just the way I intend on keeping it. So, but I'm super appreciative of you guys all being here. I appreciate each and every one of you, all you newbies. I didn't even get to do the intro earlier. I was so excited just to say, hey, I'm back. But if anybody is new and, if you enjoyed today's session, check out the other content. If you like it, hit the subscribe button. We join every Tuesday. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to announce yourself. You got nothing but cool people here. Awesome people here. They're very supportive, very welcoming, and always willing to help answer questions, especially if I'm unable to do so. So I definitely am appreciative of it. And you guys are super awesome. You guys are always on my mind, always in my heart. And I thank you all so very, very much for being here. Thank you, Cicely. You're right. They can't stop me. They can't because, this is doing the greater good for other people. And God will not allow someone to interfere with that, especially when you're helping other people and you're doing it from a place, a humble place. So, I just needed to just pump my brakes for a little bit, get out the car, knock some shit out, get back in the car and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? That's how we got to do it. That's how we do it. So guys, thank you so much for being here with me tonight. Thank you so much for, thank you, Andrea. Thank you. God bless you too, sweetheart. You guys really know how to make a girl feel special. Thank you, guys. So I will be back next Tuesday, 8 o'clock, same time. And I feel good enough to really get working on this video for you guys. Can you believe I started recording the Narcissist Sociopath crash course twice, and twice I could not get through the videos. I just could not get through them, guys. And I tried and I tried and I tried. And even Amanda was like, are you all? And I'm like, yo, I cannot, for some reason. I'm trying to get the words out. I made my own notes. I did everything, but I could not do it. And I'm like, yo, something is not right. Something feels off. Something feels off. And I don't want to give you a video that is not filled with extremely important information, pertinent details, and of course, that quality that you deserve. So after doing this little hiatus for a while, I'm glad to say that I'm back, and I'm glad to say that I'm feeling better, and I'm more determined now to get this video done. And that's exactly what I'm going to be working on next. So in the meantime, I will be putting up daily posts on the community board. And something fell. See, I'm hearing stuff over here. I'm telling you guys, something doesn't want me. Something does not want me talking about it, but I'm not going to stop talking about it. I'm going to continue, and I'm going to make sure that my videos get shared so much that my face is everywhere, where, you know what, they can't hide anymore. They're going to get tired of me. So, but it definitely, thank you, official. Thank you so much, sweetheart. But I'm definitely going to work on that for you guys. I'm going to work on that video. I'm going to put up the daily post on the community board, and might do a little, little clips here and there for you guys too, just to kind of give you, daily boosters, to keep your positivity flowing, because that's what we need to do. We keep the positivity flowing. All right. So they can't hold me down for long. Okay. I'm like a wildflower. All right, guys. So, guys, thank you again so much for being here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all your love, your support, your feedback, everything. You guys are awesome. Truly, truly awesome. I appreciate it. If you give the live a like on the way out. And of course, like I said, anyone who's new, check out the other stuff. You're not obligated to anything. Check it out. See if you like it. If you enjoy the videos, if they help you, join the family. Okay, you're more than welcome. So I'm going to call it a night, guys. Have a great night. Have a beautiful week. And again, if you need me, you guys have my email address. You got my IG. You got every other way to contact me, guys. So do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions, if you have anything you want to share, anything you want to add, whatever the case may be. Leave it on the comment section after it, of course, streams on YouTube. Yes, Lori, absolutely. When you're doing good and you're trying to help other people and you're trying to, you're just trying to do good by God, and you're just trying to do something that's going to help people break from these spiritually oppressed people. Yeah, the devil's really going to try to work hard, and is really going to try to come at me. And I know he's going to try to use, people against me and situations against me, but my God is greater, so I'm not worried about it. I am definitely not worried about it. Thank you, official. Yes, everyone, spiritually lift each other up. That's what we need. We need that spiritual uplifting. I definitely appreciate any prayers, and just please pray that I can get through this video for you guys. I know I'll be able to, but you know what? I can always use your prayers too, because that always definitely helps. All right, guys. So be sure to send me an email if you have any questions, or if any feedback or whatever the case may be, any suggestions. You guys have all the ways to contact me, and I'm going to call it a night tonight, guys. So I love you all. Have a beautiful night. Okay. Peace is priority. As always, guys, make that your number one priority. All right. And I'm going to be back here 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time next Tuesday. We're going to talk about some more stuff. So, love you all. Have a great night, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.